Good evening and welcome back to my channel Frugal Outdoors with myself, Dylan, and we're out fishing obviously, but tonight is our first match of the year. So the West Wight Danglers League, and tonight is our first one. We're due to fish at Fort Victoria, but lo and behold there's obviously another comp on, and they like to get set up super early, 9 o'clock in the morning to fish at 7, so that's fun. So we're now at Norton Wall, and we're hopefully going to get into some fish. Look at the sunset behind. Yes, stunning evening. Water colour looks brilliant. It's a little bit cloudy. It's super still. And hopefully, yeah, we're going to get into some fish. It's a really good turnout tonight. It's obviously first comp of the year. There's always quite a lot of people turn up for the first one, and then obviously if they don't do so well, tend not to show up for the next couple of fish quite so hard. So reigning champ. So I've got to try and get a fish tonight. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to get set up. I'll show you my rigs, show you my gear. It's a one rod comp, so it's nice and easy, nice and simple one to get into the swing of things tonight. And yeah, hopefully we can get into a couple of fish. But buzz in. So I'll get set up anyway, and I'll bring you back when I'm a little bit further ahead. Alright, so I'm just baiting up now. Let me get... So I'm going to start off my first cast. I'm going to chuck out a 3-hook flapper. I'll show you in a second. It's really simple rig. It's all just tied with knots. There's no swivels on it or anything like that. There's a few beads on there. Our target species is a whiting, which may surprise some of you, but we don't actually get too many of them over here. And that is our target of the evening. So I'm going to bait up some black lug, which I've threaded onto my needles, frozen blacks. So I have got a few of them in the freezer, so I'm going to use them up. So fishing with a 3-hook flapper, I'm going to put 2 of them. I'm going to bait up with black lug. The other one I'm going to probably bait up. I don't know, I've got some peeler crab. I might just put a bit of peeler crab on one of the hooks. They're 2.0 octopus beak hooks. And I always like to just bind the black lug onto a baiting needle, just with a little bit of, this is the medium baitex, a little bit of thread, and then that just stops it from bagging up on the hook and covering the hook point. So that will go on now. And what I'm going to do, because I've also got a mixed pack of squid, I've got a mackerel in there, I've got a bluey in there, and I've got a sardine. So I'm going to tip one of those worms off just with a tiny little bit of squid. I'm going to tip one off with a piece of mackerel, and the crabs are still frozen, so I'll probably, I don't know what I'm going to put on my middle hook yet. I'll figure that out in a second. What I've done is just taken a tiny bit of the mackerel from the middle, from the fillet, but I've removed some of the flesh. Because it's still quite frozen, I'm going to try and melt it, defrost it a bit in my hands. But then because that flesh normally, like I say, just comes apart anyway, it's really the skin, it's really the reflectiveness of the skin. We've got a bit of daylight, the colour is a bit dirty, but I'm hoping something like that might just make the difference. And there we go, we are all baited up and ready to go. We've still got probably half an hour, but being that they're frozen baits, I'm not really too bothered about having them baited up early. So that's a obviously a black lug tipped off that piece of mackerel there. I've got a 6-ounce gripper. I have got a lead lift on it, but only purely because it was already on there and we were due to fish Fort Victoria, which is much deeper and snaggy. Here it doesn't, I don't need this on at all, but it's already on the lead, so it's just on there. Decided on a squid head on that one. No harm in trying. Like I say, I got a couple of glowy beads on all of them, and then that's another black lug, and that one there is tipped off with a piece of squid. Fishing with my lighter rod, which is the Daiwa Air Surf, like I say, and then I've got 60-pound leader, 50-pound braid. That braid is only 0.28 mil, so it's super skinny, so it shouldn't get too much drag in the tide. And then obviously, I'm fishing with my my Shimano power arrows. So now it's just a case of sitting, waiting. Might get a couple of baits ready to hopefully get another rig. I've got another lead there, got all my gear here all set up, and there's the camera, there's all the other guys set up down there. Got another new member, Dan, to the right of me, and then we've got plenty of new members tonight and plenty of guys down that way, so fingers crossed somebody will get into some fish tonight. 14 minutes to go. I'm super excited. I do love match fishing, comp fishing, whatever you want to call it. It's all pretty much the same. Being as it's a single rod comp tonight, we can only use 3 hooks, and in our club a pennel does count as 1 hook. So I'll be alternating tonight through a 3-hook flapper and a pennel. I may well get out a Portsmouth loop rig, which I do really like to fish with, because that will have a pennel set up on the bottom and then a single 2.0 on the top. But yeah, we'll just see how we get on. We'll chuck some baits out. Hopefully we can get into a fish or two. It's always a little bit anxious, a bit nerve-wracking fishing the first one of the year, but fingers crossed we can get into a fish and give you a little bit of a show. Yeah, excited. Right, we have got about 2 minutes to go. Everyone is starting to clip up their rigs. Everyone's standing there looking out, just waiting for the call to start fishing. So fingers crossed, like I say, we can get into a couple of fish. I don't really mind what it is. Target species is a whiting, but if I get 1 dogfish and I can weigh in, I'll be chuffed. Hopefully we'll do a little bit better than that. Right, let's go. There we go, first one is in the water. So while I'm waiting, I'm going to get myself a second bait or second rig ready, just so literally so I can bring that in. When I bring that in to change it, I'm going to give it a 15-minute soak. I've got plenty of bait tonight for 1 rod, so I'm going to change them really quite regularly. Keep that bait going out there fresh. I'm going to get, what am I going to get? I'm going to get a pulley ready, and then maybe put a bigger bait. Hopefully one of those peelers might be defrosted. I want to get a peeler out there. I've got 5 peelers, so I'm going to use them tonight. I'm not going to refreeze them. So maybe, let's say, once I've got a peeler out there, I'll give it maybe 20-minute soak. Peeler and squid wrap. And let's hopefully pick up a fish or 2. So I've had a little bit of a change of thought process. I'm not going to use a pulley rig just yet. I'm going to wait till it gets fully dark, and probably a bit later on in the tide to start putting out some like really big baits. So what I've got is this rig. It's still going to enable me to fish a decent sized bait on the bottom, but I forgot I had these in my box, and I said I'd have a quick rummage. So again, it's got a 2.0 octopus beak hook there on the top with some beads. It's got another one just below it, so this is a clip down rig. And then on the very bottom, which is on the dropper, I've got a pennel, but it's only on a little 2.0, so I can put a reasonably sized bait out there and hopefully pick something up. So let's bait this up and let's get it ready to go out. Here we go, so there we go, that's it. Oh, that's it, all tangled up. There we go. So I've got mackerel on the top, mackerel on that middle one, then I've got, if I can grab hold of it, on the dropper. There we go. Got a nice bit of peeler crab and squid. Don't you love it when you forget to bring a spoon? Stirring my copper soup with the sheath of my knife. Happy days. Well, our second cast is out anyway, so I haven't heard anyone hollering and hooping yet, so I don't think any fish have come out. But fingers crossed, we'll get one. Oh, a couple of fish coming out now by the sounds of it, which is really, really good. I did have a bite. It's taken the mackerel. Wasn't on there, didn't come back, but basically, so I'm going to rebait that rig exactly the same again with mackerel. Hopefully that will be the thing that will maybe get me a fish. Super cold tonight. It's really, really still at the moment. There's not a lot of tide running at all. It's a full moon, so it will be running at some point. But yeah, it looks like we're just going to have to wait. But hopefully we can get on in that tide. Hopefully we can get a fish out. There we go, we're in. That gave a pretty decent bite for a dogfish in all fairness. Awesome, pressure is off. Let's weigh this in. And we are on the board, come on. There we go, £1.10 dogfish. But we're on the board, and that's all that matters. I can relax now. Might start thinking about chucking a big bait, see if I can catch a ray or something. Norton Wall, as you've seen by the way down, is super easy access. But it can throw anything up. Sometimes it can be a little bit hit and miss, but you can get everything down here really. I mean, I've been down here and seen rays, good sized congers, sole, all sorts of stuff. Really good bream venue in the summer and smoothhound, so yeah, I'm super chuffed to get something out. But while I'm here as well, the bait that I'm using tonight, those frozen packs, the mixed bags, they're from Kraken Baits. And Kraken Baits is out of Newport now. It's all official, it's all out for sale. The shop opened, as you'll see this on Friday, open today. So get yourselves down there tomorrow. Kraken Baits is out of Slamfish, Isle of Wight, Slamfish fishing. Go down there, go and see Nobby. He'll sort you out with some cracking bait. As you've seen, the baits are brilliant. The frozen mackerel, to be honest, are the best frozen mackerel that I've used. They're still super bloody. But yeah, get yourselves down there, see if you can get yourselves a bargain. Right, so I'm just going to bait up a pulley rig now. So I've got £80 rig body, which is about 3 foot. It's got a splashdown on the end. Obviously you've got a bead, a pulley bead and another bead. Then I've got about 85 centimetres of hook length. And again, that's £80. I've got a 3.0 Aberdeen Camazan hook on there and a 4.0 circle hook. But what I've done is I've put a little bit of aluminous rig tubing on there. And basically what I've done is I've slid that over the knot and I've super glued it. It won't quite go over the eye of the swivel. But that should stop it from tangling, help it stop wrapping around the rig body there. That's the plan anyway. But yeah, let's get this baited. I'm going to bait it up with, I've already made the bait, which is a bluey and squid wrap. Taken one of those small blueies, cut it in half, and then I've butterflied it so I can open it up and bound it together skin to skin, so it's all flesh all the way around. But yeah, let's get this on and then it's ready to go out. Well, we're still getting into a few bites at least. I don't know how everyone else is getting in. I have heard that there's been some fish coming out. So I'm on the board with the dogfish. I've had a small conger. I just had another little bite, but it was such a tiny little bite. And Dan up there next to me just had a really nice bite. So we're getting the bites for sure. So I'm gonna leave that one soaked just for another 5 minutes because I had a bite on it. Maybe it will come back. I've got another 3-hook rig ready to go out, 3-hook flapper, and I've got that pulley. So I'm going to probably put the 3-hook flapper out, then the pulley, and then I'm going to probably fish with a pulley and a 3-hook and alternate between the two. It would be nice to get something decent out. I know it's comp fishing, it's all about trying to get bulk weight, but sometimes, you know, if you can get a really nice fish and you can get a lot of weight in one fish, then, you know, it gets you way up that table. Plenty of these little guys out there tonight. That's the second one. Dan's had one and we keep getting little bites, and I think it's these, and so I'm going to put a bigger bait out. Yeah, let's go with a bigger bait. Wow, there we are. We are 2 hours in. 2 hours in, weighed in. Dan's weighed in as well now. And I think so far there's only the two of us that have weighed in, but it's plenty of time to come. And there's also plenty of tide to come, because as that tide pushes up, it's going to get pretty rapid. Probably where we're quite a way further up, so basically Norton Grange is literally right there behind me. The bay comes in a little bit here, so it is a bit more sheltered from the tide, so you do have to punch it to get it into it, but I don't even think I'm reaching it, to be honest, at the moment. But I'm hoping as the tide pushes up, there's more water in it, and that rip will come slightly closer in, so hopefully then it will get in the tide a little bit more. But having said all that, it's us two at this far end that have weighed in, so we shall see. Never going to stay like that, I know that, but we'll enjoy it while it lasts. But yeah, it'd be nice to see something else. I've got that pulley out there at the moment. Nice bluey and squid wrap. Hopefully that will entice something, nice smelly bait, but yeah, we'll see how we do. Okay, so struggling a little bit for a bite. So I'm going to try something different, as I normally try to do. Keep seeing people using these super glowy beads from Sea Glow, and I don't have any of those. They do seem to glow up really well, and we've got quite dirty water here today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my pulleys, I'm going to take the hooks off, and I'm going to thread on one of the little tubes from the little glow sticks, the really small ones, the really short ones, one of those ones, and I'm actually going to snap it. I'm going to put it just up above my bait. You never know, it might entice something. Obviously it's all about scent tonight at night time, but a little bit of extra attraction certainly isn't going to do any harm. So let's give that a go, shall we? I'll show you what it looks like when it's on. Oh, was just getting a bite then. So yeah, so basically, as you can see, it's just on the, if I come really close, you might be able to see that it is actually glowing. There you go. So that will go out just above my bait. Never know. Yeah, we definitely seem to be getting some tide movement now. The state of that was getting a bite for sure. But what a mess. I've basically, considering I'm only fishing with one rod, I've got 2 rigs baited and ready to go, and I've literally just cast one out, so I will get this one ready. Oh, something's had a really good chomp on that. That's really annoying. But good sign. Hopefully we can get into another fish. And it not be a tiny little strap. Well, I'm getting another bite here, so let's reel it in. I think it's probably another strap. Not even convinced it's on actually. Yeah. I think whatever it was literally just came off then. Oh, I don't know, maybe not. Or maybe I picked up a bit of weed. Definitely weighty now. It's got to be weed, surely. There we go. That's the next one that's going to go out. Nice, bloody, stinky, bluey squid wrap. God, well, it is quiet. So basically no activity for the last hour. I mean, I've been having some little bites, but nothing committing. So I'm going to change it up. I'm going to get out a Wessex rig. Got a mackerel head down there, which I'm going to put on the bottom. I'm going to put a plain lead on it. All the bait I've been taking off my hooks, I've been just chucking to the left of me. This light is shining this way, shining to my right. So to the left of me, there's probably about 20 yards to the next fisherman. And all of my bait, all night, I've just been chucking down to my left. So I'm thinking, basically I've been pre-baiting it. So, I'm going to chuck out a Wessex rig with a mackerel head on it and leave it out there for a little while. So basically a Wessex rig is basically, it's a running ledger, but it's got a snood at the top near the swivel. So that's the swivel that clips onto my main line. Then I've got a couple of crimps there, a bead and a swivel with a snood, and then I've got on there single 3.0 big mouth extra. Then that goes down a good probably 4 foot with a swivel with a lead link on it, and then that's my running ledger in between. And then on the end of that I've probably got about 3 foot. Don't know what that is, just pick that up from the ground. And then I've got another 3.0 big mouth extra and a 3.0, I believe that looks like a semicircle. So I'm going to put a mackerel head on that, and then I'm going to put, what am I going to put on there? I might put a whole peeler on that. I've got 1 peeler left, and I'm going to put it on there and see how we do. Oh dear, well I am chucking everything at this. I'm chucking fresh baits out on a regular basis. 20 minutes, 25 minutes. They're just coming back untouched now. Every time I chuck a big bait out, it's not getting touched. If I chuck the smaller baits out, I'm getting small rattly little bites, which I can only assume is those really small congers. I mean, Dan next to me's probably had half a dozen or more. But they're tiny, they're too small to weigh in anyway, so yeah, it's a real struggle. This one is much closer in. I've still got that mackerel head, I haven't chucked that out yet. I'll keep throwing all my bait in there, and I'll probably, last half hour, I'm just going to chuck it in there while I pack some stuff down. But yeah, at the moment it's just really, really hard going. I mean, I'm chuffed, I'm on the board, and to be honest, I feel pretty lucky about it, because the fishing is super hard tonight. I mean, the tide's been moving as well, but it doesn't seem to be pulling like it normally does here, even though it's a full moon, so it's a pretty decent tide. It's a strong tide, but yeah, there just doesn't seem to be an awful lot of movement in the water. But we'll keep going. We've got over an hour, well, maybe just about an hour left now. So I've packed one of the pulleys away, and I've been fishing again with two of the 3 hooks. I'm just thinking, if the big baits aren't doing it, I'll fish with three hook flappers for maybe 2 casts, and then chuck a big bait out again in close and just leave it out there. You never know, there might be a bass cruising, there might be a conger cruising in the rocks real close. But yeah, it's tough. Hello. Great here. So I've literally just cast one, maybe 40 yards, 3 hook flapper, a piece of sardine on one hook, a piece of squid on the other hook, and a piece of mackerel on the other. And no sooner did I just tighten into it, I've turned around and there's a bite straight away, and then it's just stopped. Can't believe that. It must be one of those little straps. Oh no. Yeah, tiny little strap again. They're literally like that. They're about between 6 and 10 ounces. So I've chucked it back out there. There might be a slightly bigger one. If we can get a slightly bigger one and it's over a pound, I can weigh it in. And to be honest, I think if I can get a couple of fish weighed in, I'll be doing all right. It's really hard going. Yeah, unfortunately, I think a few people might blank tonight, which is a real shame, because there's a lot of new members down tonight, so it's always nice if they can get into some fish. Dan next to me, he's got into one, so, and he's weighed in, so chuff for him. But yeah, hopefully everyone else is doing okay, but I haven't heard a lot of good reports. Hoping that one of them might be a slightly bigger one in a minute. God, so 2 strap congers in about 2 minutes, casting a 3 hook flapper in super close, like it's maybe 30-ish yards, 30, 40 maybe. So I'm just going to keep plugging it in there in the hope that one of them might be in size. But we certainly haven't got long left now. But that one made a right mess of my rig. Well, this isn't something you see every day when you're out fishing. See if I can get him. Get him on camera. This. Look at him. Going out for an evening stroll. Mr. Swan. How bizarre. Cool though. As long as he sort of walks in another direction and stops walking directly towards me. That's cool. Yeah, how weird. Just literally came strolling past us. Going up to see Lyndon now, Lyndon and Nick. Yeah, as soon as I'm chucking these baits in super close, I'm getting bites. So I've had 2 straps straight away, and then I had another cast, had a bite, reeled in, nothing, let it sit, had another bite, reeled in, nothing on. But it slammed the bottom bait. But yeah, I think they're just these tiny little strap congers. I really, really do. But I'm gonna keep plugging away anyway. We've only literally got 20 minutes left. Just hope I can pull one more fish out. I really do. Well, we are done. We're finished. I've just reeled in. It is bang on 11 o'clock. That, I have to say, was probably one of the hardest comps I've fished. I mean, I've weighed in. I've blanked. Don't get me wrong. I have blanked other comps. But when there's quite a few of us down here and very, very few fish, so I feel quite lucky to be able to get on the board. So I think maybe half have caught, maybe half haven't. And the conditions, as always, I mean, normally you look out there and you think, yeah, do you know what, we got down and it looked pretty fishy and it felt pretty good. Chucked out super fresh bait, really nice baits, every 25 minutes, give or take. And yeah, it just wasn't to be. Right at the end there, I was keeping them in super close and I was getting loads of bites, and I've probably had maybe half a dozen of those tiny little strap congers around between sort of 6 and 10 ounces. And fortunately, 1 dogfish, which I managed to weigh in, so I'm chuffed about that. But God, yeah, that was a hard session. But I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope you enjoyed this match. But don't forget to check out Slamfish, the new tackle shop in right in Newport Town Centre. And yeah, until the next one, please take care, stay safe, and maybe I'll see you out there. Cheers.